There's a violent crime every 22 seconds in the United States. This number of violent crimes is insane. With statistics like this one, the question is no longer if something might happen to you, but when will it happen? Knowing self-defense is one way to help decrease one's risk of ever being caught in a violent crime. Self-defense means more than being physically prepared, but mentally prepared as well. It means using one's head, reducing one's risk, and knowing some physical self-defense tactics. With high crime rates in the United States right now, it is important for one to be aware of their surroundings and know what they can do to help prevent or de-escalate an attack. I used to teach a girls' self-defense class targeted for girls that lived in the inner city and dangerous areas. When we were teaching them, one of the first things we taught them was to be aware of their surroundings. Understand that if they fight back, it could only make the situation worse. It is important to only do what is necessary to get away. Make sure that you draw the attention to the situation in any way possible. An attacker generally does not want to get caught in the process of the crime. And the last thing is not to be afraid to tell someone what has happened to you. Telling someone brings awareness to the crime and holds the person accountable for their actions. I believe if more people just knew some of the basics of self-defense, it could go a long way in cleaning up the amount of violent crimes there are right now. Many people think of self-defense as a karate kick to the groin or a jab in the eyes of the attacker. However, self-defense actually means doing everything possible to avoid fighting someone who threatens or attacks you. It's all about using your head and not your fist. Usually, people who are threatened and fight back in self-defense actually risk making the situation worse. An attacker is going to already be edgy and pumped up with adrenaline. If one fights back in the action of self-defense, they could risk making the attacker more angry and more violent. The best way to handle any attack or threat is to try and get away. Run, jump, yell, do whatever you have to do in order to get away from the situation before it ever has a chance of getting started. This will reduce the chances of someone getting hurt. One of the most important, easiest ways to avoid a potential attack before it happens is to trust your instincts. Your intuition, along with common sense, can help get one out of trouble. For example, if you're running alone on the school track and you suddenly feel like you're being watched, that could be your intuition telling you that something is wrong. Your common sense would then tell you that it's a good idea to get somewhere where there are more people around. If you listen to your intuition and what it is trying to tell you, you will most likely be able to avoid violent situations. Along with listening to one's intuition, there are numerous other things you can do to reduce your risk of being attacked. A violent physical attack can happen at any time and has a possibility of happening at almost any place. However, like most crimes, violent attacks can often be prevented. There are a few easy things that you can do to help reduce your risk. First, like I previously mentioned, one can be aware of your surroundings. Do not be naive and think that an assault will never happen to you. Always think about safety first. Second, trust your instincts. Don't dismiss suspicious people, suspicious cars, or situations. Always be aware and on guard. Be cautious, and remember that people are not as trustworthy as they used to be, nor as trustworthy as they may seem. Third, act confident. Even if you may not feel confident, an attacker knows and can tell if someone isn't confident. In fact, those are the people he will target first. One way to appear confident is to not look down when you're walking. Make eye contact with the people you encounter. It not only shows respect, but also shows potential attackers that you are confident and not worth targeting. Lastly, just like a business, location is everything. Do not go to unfamiliar areas late at night. Don't go to convenience stores or park in isolated, unlit parking lots late at night. If you have to go out, take someone with you if at all possible. Do not take unreasonable risks, such as taking a shortcut through a dark alley or trek into an unfamiliar neighborhood that has a bad reputation. More than likely, it got that reputation for a reason. It is always better to be safe than to be sorry. I'm not saying that one needs to be on edge all the time and be the next secret detective agent. Being edgy and paranoid isn't good either. but being generally aware and cautious is the best thing one can do for themselves. While avoiding a fight is better and safer, there will be a time when fighting back is necessary, so I believe it is important for everyone to know at least some basics of self-defense. One can go to the local martial arts school, community center, or even learn from a friend who is knowledgeable in the art. Being a martial artist instructor for a number of years now, I would like to share with you how to know if you're involved in a good self-defense program. A good self-defense class should teach you how to size up a situation and decide what should be done. Being able to make a good judgment call is important in all aspects of life, especially when deciding when it is best to defend oneself physically. First, a self-defense class should teach special techniques for breaking an attacker's grasp and other things one can do to get away. Second, a good self-defense class should also teach ways in which you can surprise your attacker and catch him or her off guard. The element of surprise can be a great advantage. But of the most important things and best things you can take away from a self-defense class is self-confidence. It's much easier to take action in an emergency situation if you are confident enough in yourself to do so, and when it comes to practice and practicing of different defense techniques. I hope that I have offered you more information on what self-defense really means. It is important to use your head. In this day and age, with violent crime rates so high, being able to reduce your risk of being attacked is a necessity. I hope that I have taught you how to recognize what a good self-defense class is and what should be learned and taught in that class. Thank you.